Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Bekah Jo, aka the Makeup Tax Lady, and today I really want to play with my makeup. I do already have the majority of my makeup on, but we are going to play with eyeshadow, and we are playing with a palette that I have done nothing but some swatches with to date, and that is the Kryptein Cosmetics Supernova palette. This palette has such a pretty, grungy, earthy, muted but colorful color story. It's so fun. I hope you can see all the beautiful shimmer shades. We've got lots of multi-chromes going on here. So I really just want to play with this palette. I picked this up myself and it's been out for more than a minute, but we're playing with it today. It may be old news on the indie eyeshadow world, but I don't care. And if you're here, then you're here to enjoy it with me. So I want to do a dramatic eye look and swatch the shades on my arm today. So let's get right on into it. I am so intrigued by so many of the colors in this palette. We've obviously got a beigey, nude matte, purple matte, a mid-tone, lighter mid-tone green matte, this fun camel color, a deep red, a mid-tone to deeper gray shade, a mid-tone to deeper blue, and a very deep blue. So obviously there's a lot of directions as far as mattes that we could go. I think I want to play with this camel color, and then we'll figure out the next step from there. But let's start. I do have my About Face eyeshadow primer on my eyes, and I set that primer with just the same brush that I used to set the rest of my face with no heavy powder or anything on it. That's been my favorite way to set my lids lately. So yes, I'm gonna start with this shade. I didn't realize until I got this palette and looked at it, these shades do not have names. So I think that's very interesting. It doesn't bother me. I just thought that was interesting. I am using my Refer 01, and the way that I've been enjoying my eyeshadow lately is starting the colors at the base of my lashes, even the like crease color, and then blending up from there. I have not been reaching for or creating looks where my crease shade is just like through my eye crease. Like I want it to naturally roll up and be less product up here, but I don't want to only put the product up high. I hope that makes sense. That's just the current status of Bekah Jo's eyeshadow application. I like to change it up. You may also, if you know anything about my eyeshadow preferences, I don't typically reach for the warmer shades, but it is July and I feel like I can get away with the warmer shades a whole lot easier in the month of July. Not that I directly prefer cool tone eyeshadow. Part of the distinction is shadows with yellow in them. The shade has a decent bit of yellow in it, I would say, and yellow shadows I'm really not going to reach for unless it's summertime or fall. Not because there are rules. I just think that that's when they kind of blend best with my skin tone. That is fun. If you have this palette and you just wanted like a one and done eyeshadow, I feel like that looks really pretty. And I do think that the yellow looks nice against my blue-green eyes. Using this Refer 02 to just run that shade under my eyes. And I said I want to do dramatic, so I'm not going to try to keep it too close under my eyes. I'm going to let it drag out just a little bit more maybe than normal. I made myself a little afternoon latte and I am enjoying it today. Okay, I'm debating between the deep purple and the deep navy blue. They're both very dark and kind of similar. Using my Moda Pro detail brush, I'm gonna dip into the deep purple shade and we're gonna add this. Ooh, halo eye. Okay, we'll do a halo eye. Twist my arm. I have not done a halo eye in a minute. Look at how beautifully these Kryptein Cosmetics mattes blend. I have picked up all of the current products. I think they had an all shimmer, like a 6-pan or something like that, that I do not have, but basically everything else I have added to my collection. Honestly, if they had only released Supernova, I might not have picked it up. I mean, the palette is gorgeous, but it is mostly deeper mattes. And if you are not new here, you know that deeper mattes are not typically what I love and reach for. I like my lighter and mid-tone mattes for the most part. So by itself, while the palette is stunning, I wouldn't have just picked it up at launch just for the sake of the palette. However, when they launched Supernova, they also restocked several of their other palettes, and especially palettes that I didn't have and that I'd been waiting on, namely the 2 Secret Garden palettes. So and they were doing like a sale. So they got me. I picked up Supernova, both of the Secret Gardens, got the sale, and they also re-released, I don't know if re-release is the right way to explain it, but they restocked the Tulip Dream palette, which is a small 5-pan palette. And okay, twist my arm, I'm purchasing from the site. I'll go ahead and get that one too. And all of the Kryptein palettes and pans are magnetic, so we can switch them around as much as we want to. I think that Supernova, despite being, like I said, like a deep palette and one that I might not have picked up on its own, I think it makes a lot of sense in the Kryptein lineup, because while I am not super passionate about having the super deep shades in my palettes, I have heard other folks mention that the rest of their lineup in Kryptein Cosmetics lineup doesn't have enough deepening up shades. So I think Supernova being a deeper palette, specifically thinking about the mattes, I think that it's very fitting in their lineup, because now if you have, let me just pull one that's in front of me because I want to use it this summer. This is the Sunset Symphony palette. Stunning palette. This is lighter shades and midtones as far as mattes go, so it is right up my alley. And it's bright and it's colorful and it's so fun. But if you were looking at this palette and it just wasn't deep enough for you, but you now have Supernova, I'm so sorry, I'm having a hard time figuring out how to hold these and show them both at the same time. You could maybe take out one of the blue mattes out of Sunset Symphony and add in 1 or 2 of the blue mattes from Supernova. Or you could take out one of the yellows and add in the camel-y shade that we started today's look with. You could throw the deep purple in there somewhere. Like, I think the Supernova palette is stunning. It's beautiful. The mattes in here being interchangeable in the other Kryptein palettes, I think is an incredibly smart move for the brand. So that's another part of the reason why I picked up the palette, even though in and of itself, it's kind of not a standalone for me. I mean, it is, because I can do 1 or 2 shadow looks with this, of course. But having that flexibility within my own collection, I think is so smart, so cool. I'm taking the Refer 01, that's what I thought it was, that we started with, and there's no shadow on the brush. And I am just making sure the edges are blended the way I would like. If you see a little shadow missing just from the corner of my eye here, my eye's just a tad bit watery. We're gonna ignore that and just keep going. On my lids, we have so many stunning shimmer options. When you're looking at it here, this one looks kind of purple, this one's purple, this one's kind of purple. When I look at those same shades, this one is green. I can't wait for these swatches. I haven't swatched everything out yet. This one is like gold green, and this one is like teal. It's like a teal and purple. The rest of them, like this diagonal, look very similar to what you see. So It's always fun to see them in the mirror because I feel like that can sometimes, look at that green. Oh, that's so cool. I feel like that can help capture some of those shifts just a little bit more. Let's start the shimmers with this shade. It's so pretty. Look at all those sparkles, all the different colors of sparkle. And I actually see a green shift too when I hold it like this. Okay, we're gonna use this on the inner and outer. And that is a very pretty shade. As far as like the Kryptein, I'm not complaining, I'm just commenting. As far as the Kryptein shimmer formulas go, this is like subtle. Like this is very simple, very pretty, sparkly, very, very pretty. Rougher 02, just to add a little bit more. Now for the center of the lid, I'm torn between this one, and this one. So let's swatch those real quick. I mean, obviously, they're very different shades. And we could pick any of them. And just for, can you even get enough of that? Okay, on the eyes. Thinking because we started with like the camel colored matte, that gold could be really cool. Yeah, I want to go with the gold. Could totally intensify this if I had used a glitter glue, but I did not. I don't think that Kryptein's formula does need a glitter glue, but I will say some of their shades are a bit flakier. Some of their shimmer shades. Under the eye too. We went a little low on this side, unintentionally. So we'll just match that. Wow. Wow. That's so fun. Okay, taking a big fluffy brush from Give Me Glow into that light colored khaki and just running this around, not trying to disturb where the shimmers are, so just kind of everywhere where the mattes meet like my skin. I'm delighted. I am delighted with this. Do I want an inner corner? Let me go do mascara finishing touches and then I'll come back. Okay, welcome back. Here we are with the completed eye look. I did add a few other items as well. I also got distracted and went and talked with my husband for a little bit. So let's talk about the things that I've done off screen. I added a little bit of blush. This is my Inslee Rain Lighten Your Eyes blush. I had a cream blush on before, just wanted to add a little powder blush. And this is such a pretty, like, toasty type of shade. If my eyes are watering, it's because of the lashes. I'll explain in a minute. I did use just a little bit of my Kingdom Come Home. This is a botanical color correcting powder. And I just used this with a big brush just to kind of blend things in right on the center of my cheeks and then kind of through the center of my face. Loving this product for that purpose. The sparkly highlighter that hopefully you can see on camera was my Kryptein, I don't remember the name of this, the Emerald highlighter. So this came out with the Emerald City palette, I believe is the name of the green palette. And I picked this up. It is not my favorite texture of highlighter. It's very pretty. It's very sparkly. Like it's kind of piecey a little bit. So I figured we might as well pull it out and use it today. On my lower waterline, I used this MAC pencil in Power Surge. It's just a slightly shimmery bronzy shade. It goes really well with the metallic gold shimmer that we used in the center of my lids today, but it doesn't like stand off a lot on my lash line. So it's there. I also use my Christian Beauty Co. mascara. This is my third time, I think, using this mascara, so I'm getting to know it. It's a more natural mascara, I would say, and because we're doing a dramatic look today, I wanted to amp it up with lashes. Despite the fact that my eyes keep watering, I really enjoy these lashes. I am just out of the habit. Not like I'm really ever in the habit, but I'm definitely out of the routine of putting lashes on. But these are like the best lashes for myself that I have come across yet. I can pick these up at my local TJ Maxx or Marshall's, and I have a couple of the styles. So this is medium glam, but these are pre-glued lash clusters. So I usually take 2 of the longer and 2 of the shorter and put them on my eyes, and I put them underneath my lashes so they look like extra natural. They're very lightweight, very comfortable to wear, despite the fact that one or something every once in a while pokes me in the eye, makes my eyes water. Hopefully it's a temporary thing and we're moving on now. But I think this is the second time in like 6 months that I've worn lashes. So just been out of the habit, but I really do enjoy these lashes. I have a couple of the different styles. Like I said, this one is medium glam. And I think this is honestly the only package of them that I have opened thus far. Swatches. I am excited to get into the swatches of the Kryptein Supernova palette. So let's do it. It does make it easier for me that we don't have shade names, that I don't have to keep looking back at the palette because I forget what shades I just swatched. We have 16 shades in total in this palette, and we have an even split between mattes and shimmers, which I think is really special. And I really enjoy both the mattes and the shimmers from Kryptein. One of the thoughts that I have had lately, not just Kryptein, but like eyeshadow palettes in general, is in my mind, the mattes really make the color story, and then the shimmers are an expansion on the color story. But if I'm building a look, I'm starting with mattes, typically. If you've never been here before, I like to do all sorts of varieties of looks on my channel, especially on the everyday. We'll do 1 shadow looks, we'll do 2 or 3 shadow looks. So that's not an exclusive claim on how eyeshadow looks are built. But generally speaking, I'm looking at the mattes to be the base of the color story and then shimmers to kind of build from there. I think that this palette, you obviously could rearrange it however you want. I see like a quad right here, kind of in the middle. I see a quad up here. You could see this as a quad. I mean, obviously you can do whatever you want, and you can move the shadows around however you want. I'm trying to think of how I want to swatch them. Oh, I didn't add an inner corner. I was gonna add the highlighter, the emerald. Let's add some of that to the inner corner. Just gonna use this Moda brush and try not to poke myself in the lashes because that didn't feel good just a second ago. So the highlighter is like super sparkly. It's really pretty. Just a little more finicky than I would like to wear on my cheeks every day. Hopefully you can see the sparkles in the inner corner now. Okay, swatching. I think to just change up, like normally I would go like top, left, across, and then go down a row and across. But let's do rows instead. So I'm gonna take this one and then go down this row, and then we'll go to the next shade. So we've got here on my finger are those first 4 shades. So we used this shade in the look today. This shimmer shade is definitely a bit flakier, but look at how impactful that is. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. And their mattes blend out beautifully. Of course, now that I say that, they're gonna look weird on my wrist. Don't worry about that. And I have gained several red eyeshadows in the last year or so. I have the Serif palette from Kryptein, among others. Red is not an eyeshadow shade that I reach for on the day-to-day, but it is a lot of fun to play with and to do a look with and experiment with. Okay, now for our next row. Oh, you can see some of the shifts in that shade on my pinky. How cool. So the first shimmer shade so far has been the most flaky. That's a nice like skin tone shade. This shade is, I would say maybe, it's definitely less flaky than this shade, but it's not like super smooth either. It's a good consistency, but you can see all the sparkle and impact that it has. And yes, I have 4th of July nails. Pinky swatches are usually a little less than I would like them to be. Ooh, yeah. Hopefully you can see. I hope you can see all those sparkles in those shimmers. I keep starting to talk about the texture of the shimmers and then getting distracted. So I would say this shade is the most flaky so far. These two are low flaky. This shade is very smooth. All right, let's get into the next row. Very smooth. Decently flaky. Probably, this shimmer is probably about the same texture as these two. Apologies for blinding you. Oh, these are so fun. Ugh. How cool. That shade makes me think of Dragonfly, which is a cream shadow from Sydney Grace. Like I said, just pinky swatches. Okay, those two swatches blended together a little bit. Okay, one row left. Let's start with this purple. That one's decently flaky. As is that one. But they're so pretty. Ooh. That is a deep purple. Ugh, yum. Just building up that gray swatch a little bit. And last but not least, this one has a little more lime green to it. Wow. What a fun palette. Okay, I was about to go wash this off, but let me show you, oh, the holochromes. And that's after what I swatched there. There's just that much still on my finger, which probably means I picked up too much, but let me see if I can. Okay, there's no lights at all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I had so much fun looking at these beautiful swatches. Please let me know in the comments if you picked up this palette, what you think of it. Obviously, I think that it's beautiful. And I think it's a great addition to my collection. Even though I can switch out magnetic shades in palettes, I typically will just reach into more than one palette. However, if I were to be traveling and wanted to like mix and match into a palette, these would be great options to do that. I have a handful of palettes that I really haven't done much, especially on my YouTube with, or really haven't gotten to play with them much at all lately. So I'm really hoping to continue just playing with the makeup, the palettes that I have in my collection. Obviously, new palettes are fun and all of that too. But if you like this sort of thing, please let me know in the comments. I'd love it if you would subscribe and stick around. Hopefully I can do a few more of these. For example, a couple of the other palettes that I need to show some love to. We've got Glaminatrix Bonfire palette. Yes, this is not new to the market. This came out, but if you can tell, it's new to my collection. I've barely swatched a couple of the shades, but I really want to love on this palette this summer. Also Glaminatrix, the Silent But Deadly palette. I have used this a couple of times, but I feel like this could totally deserve either a like, let's do a fun look and swatches, or multiple looks with one palette, or those sorts of things. Fun color story. I did recently get into my collection the Unearthly Shadow Sculpt palette. I have done, I think, one look with this palette so far. Very fun color story. So again, not new to the market, new to me, but would be intrigued to do a little more drama and get to know the palette a little bit better. I am working on, I don't know when this video is going up, I am working on a multiple looks with the Ensley Rain Change the Channel palette. So stay tuned for that. And there's more. I'm sure that there's more. There's also the Secret Garden 1 and 2 from Kryptein that again are not new to the market, are new to me, and I would love to just show them more love. So we're going to make it a point on this channel, not that we can't bring new stuff into our collection if you're on a no buy or low buy. Don't let me change your mind on that. The purpose of my collection is to have fun with it. And I haven't gotten to do a whole lot of just like fun playing with makeup, eyeshadow looks lately. That's a whole other story. That's on me. It's fine. Everything is fine. But I want to change that and I want to play with my makeup. So thank you so much for joining me today, and let me get our Bible verse to close us out of today's video. Let us read today from 1 Peter chapter 1 verses 22 through 25. I'm reading from the New King James Version. Since you have purified your souls in obeying the truth through the Spirit in sincere love of the brethren, love one another fervently with a pure heart, having been born again, not of corruptible seed, but incorruptible, through the word of God, which lives and abides forever. Because all flesh is as grass, and all the glory of man as the flower of the grass. The grass withers, and its flower falls away, but the word of the Lord endures forever. Now this is the word which by the gospel was preached to you. Thank you once again for joining me for today's video with all of these swatches, this fun playing with makeup eyeshadow look. I'm really glad that you've been able to spend some time here today. I hope to see you in the next video.